And we are live. And what's up, everyone? This is the Law Ray Ramundo, and we are back with the 10th edition of the Laws Roundtable. Still not sure how we aren't canceled by now, but hey, let's keep it going. And I'm joined by a very special guest. He is formerly known as the Rogue, formerly known as a wrestling god. He is the one above all. But I call him my best friend, Anthony Gangone. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty well. Is it Ray Mundo separately, or is it Ray just Ramundo? What is it?
It's Ray Ramundo.
Okay, Ray Ramundo. Gotcha. Okay, I know for later.
Checks in the mail. Thank you. But how's it going, man? What's up?
Oh, just living the dream, like any wrestler would say, right?
I guess so. Yeah, usually that's just getting through it, making those towns. That's about it. The normal go-to answer. But no, how you been? How are you during this crazy time that we're in?
Well, like I said on several podcasts for the past year and a half, I don't wish that anyone were to die or financial straits and all that. But given the situation that we're in, I don't hasn't been awful for me. It is what it is, and I try to look at the positive aspects of it. Was I supposed to show you my vaccination card before coming on here?
Yep, that was supposed to be the proof, man.
All right,
I missed that.
I have it on here, so if you need it. But yeah, I got COVID myself, and it wasn't fun as well. So, but all things considered, things are going as well as they can be.
That's awesome. It's weird because I'm like, I don't want to do the podcast voice with you because it's like.
I was gonna yell at you for using your podcast voice and talking to me as if you didn't know me. So,
hey, at least the intro was fine because I was like, I could have been like, hey, so this and that. It's like, no, it's just my friend. I'm not gonna do the podcast voice with this.
Best friend too, apparently. So
hey.
I didn't get an email about this. I had to.
It was in the memo. It was in the memo. You missed the memo, man. You got to read those memos.
I gotta read those things they sent me. I guess.
Yeah.
I just kind of skipped through them, and then it would happen. Well, that's not true because I have a brain. So never mind.
That's hard to find these days, but that's a topic for another day.
Like my friend Frankie here, he needs a good brain.
See, and he has better use of it than most people do. So
yes,
Frankenstein.
He has some sort of compassion, at least at one point.
Yep, he definitely does. But, okay, so question I am going to ask, just because to hear your thoughts on it. Your thoughts on indie wrestling opening up again. We're kind of at that point now that it's starting to feel somewhat normal, I guess.
Yeah, there's still a pandemic going on.
Yeah.
So I would hope that, especially on an independent level, that people are as safe as they can be.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I don't know. I don't know what answer. I'm not like, it's good that I get to perform when I can, but there's still a pandemic going on, and we have to be smart, and there are things like breakthrough cases for people that are vaccinated, I being one of them, and it still wasn't fun. So, just be as safe as you can be.
Yep, definitely. Hey, we're still in that debate if I'm patient zero or not, so I'm not sure what we can talk about.
Ray Ramundo here possibly was patient zero in New York City. December 2019. So
those were fun times. So we still don't know. It might have been, but hey, again, guys, stay safe. Try to Still has remain some sanity as well, because it is some difficult times with everything going on and trying to keep somewhat of a norm. But again, talking about wrestling and all that, there is some still norm. Let's try to promote this now so we can get it out of the way. You'll be wrestling actually this Saturday. Let's talk about this. Have the graphic up here for TCW Warfare, and then let me show the match. This one's going to be interesting. It's you versus Preacher himself, Phineas James. For anyone in the tri-state, if you don't know who Preacher is, you're doing yourself a disservice. Definitely search the man up. An indie veteran right there. Your thoughts on that?
Well, this will be my first singles match back since I did get COVID. I had some tag matches prior to that, but this will be my first singles match back, and we'll see where I'm at as far as all that, because it's a very demanding occupation. And yeah, as far as Preacher, he happened to be the trainer of someone very important to me. And I guess maybe some people may take it easy on him, but I don't necessarily do that, because in my opinion, you know, those dues and debts were paid for already. So, you know, Valentina, you know, paid for those lessons and how to do an arm drag and hip tosses and all that. And I don't think there's necessarily any reason to treat Preacher like a pagan god or anything like that. I'll treat Preacher with as much respect as I treat anybody, but once you're in the ring with me, that's a whole different story. It doesn't matter if you train me or you train Valentina or whatever. I want the victory, and depending on my mood that day, we'll see how far I go with that.
There you go. There you go. We got our first comment from, I think he's familiar to us. I'm not sure. We got Jeff asking, do we need someone to set up some chairs? I heard he's good at that. I'm not sure. Not sure where to
well, Jeff, as one of many to do a job and not get any compensation for it for years. And it's so Jeff is very good at it, but unfortunately, I do think it's in the best interest of everyone for them to eventually pay what's due to them.
Definitely. Come on, man. Paying dues is enough. You gotta get some actual compensation. I heard clout doesn't pay much. But another topic here. Let's keep it going on the promotion train here as well. In October, we're almost there. It's it's a week away actually. The following Saturday, it would be for Full Faith Wrestling Freedom, as you'll be in action. Here we got the graphic there. Oh, I just noticed that as well. Vicky Guerrero will be there. That's interesting. As you also, there you go. Excuse me. You'll be teaming up with Johnny Malloy to take on Joe Ocasio and Cesar Baroni. Sorry, don't want to mess up that Brazilian man's name because he's very tall.
I'm pretty sure. Well, everyone's tall to you, so I'm like Omos to you, or Giant Gonzalez, or Andre. But yeah, so yes, he's a frequent AEW competitor, part of the Wingmen.
Yep.
With Peter Avalon and Briley, or Dolph Ziggler's brother,
yep.
which his name escapes me at this point.
Ryan Nemeth.
Ryan Nemeth.
Yes.
I was thinking of his FCW name, so there you go. And JD Drake.
Yep.
So this will be quite the challenge for me, because one, he's actually a legitimate person in professional wrestling with a very interesting background and years of wrestling experience through the developmental or NXT, whatever you want to call it. So this is a big opportunity for me to show once again that I am on the same level as these television, YouTube, internet stars.
There you go. So that's going to, again, guys, those are two great matches right there you can check out. Tickets are still available for both, especially this one for Full Faith Wrestling. It is for a great cause right there, as it'll be all to St. Jude. So definitely check that one out. Also, you got Joe Ocasio, someone you know well, you guys faced in the past, who I guess has gone on a savior gimmick now. I'm not sure what's happened with his evolution there. But there you go, guys. So
yes,
we got the.
You can believe it or not, you can find our match. At one point, it was possibly deleted by someone. I don't know who it could be, but you can go find our match online, and it's a pretty good one. One of those sleeper matches on that particular card. But yeah, he's a great rival of mine, and my body aches every time I have to be in the ring with him.
Yeah, you'll find that, guys. That was when he was still under the Jack Gallo name, but still, Joe Casio, great dude right there. But okay, now that we got the wrestling out of the way, now we can start talking about some other things, some other interests that we can talk about here. So if you guys are here for the wrestling, sorry, that's about it. We've promoted everything. But now let's talk about another thing we both are interested in, and that's this podcast right here. Got the graphic up. The Chillin podcast, part of that Just Chillin network. How's that been? Like I haven't seen what it's been, so let's hear your take on it.
Well, it's a hobby podcast that I do, and I get to talk about other things that I like to do besides putting on spandex and wrestling other women, men, and everything in between. And yeah, so I like to talk about horror movies. I don't have many people in my life that I guess are big fans like myself, which I am surrounded by horror. It's always Halloween when it comes to me. So yeah, but it's going well. I mean, we've added you more frequently. We've added Valentina more frequently, and that helps us out a lot. We just added video content, so streaming, I guess you would call it. So yeah, you never know with these things. There's 10,000 podcasts out there, but we do it mainly for fun and to enjoy ourselves, and hopefully don't let people forget or enjoy their horror fandom as well with us.
No, definitely, guys. Again, links will be in the description down below. But it's been fun, and like I promoted as I guess now we're part of like the rotating cast now. That it's like you never know. You got a bunch of us in that in that spectrum there. That's like, hey, we're all talking about a subject we enjoy, and again, it's a fandom that has very very different interests. I guess you can say. That's like you never know. Certain people like their genre, their version of the genre of horror. It's a mind-boggling genre because there's so many takes you can have on it.
Yeah, and it has so much creativity to it that really helps other endeavors that some people may have, like myself. And just take a move. If you watch *Malignant* on HBO Max right now, very crazy movie. But those things need to happen so the genre progresses.
Definitely. Hey, we have a lot coming out especially this month coming up. It's like there's going to be a lot to talk about. So
yes,
definitely check out the podcast, guys. There's going to be a lot to discuss there. So from that as well, I guess we can kind of bring it up because you have a lot of the stuff in the background. How's the collection growing?
It's growing. Well, I tried to limit myself just a bit because I'm pretty much almost done with my Universal Monsters 12-inch collection. I'm missing one major character. Everything else should be more of gravy on top.
Yeah.
But so if anyone sees an Invisible Man out there, let me know from Sideshow. That's what I'm looking for. But yeah. But everything else, yeah. I mean, I pretty much collected everything that I need or is out there right now. Not need. Need's not the right word. That you would want to have in the collection. Yeah. Yes. I cannot feed off them or drink these figures or statues, but they're a nice representation that I get to look at, and it makes me happy. There you go. That's the main thing. I feel like that's the best way to explain when you collect anything, like especially again with the crazy collection I have here, Funkos. It's like I would want these. Is it a need? But it's a good thing to enjoy and to have there. Again, it's a great mixture because it's like again, especially with
the collections we have, it's like, okay, it's representations of interest of ours and mixtures of just nostalgia as well. Like, that's the best thing about it.
Yeah, nostalgia's big.
Definitely.
It's a big market.
And that's how they make our money. But speaking of Universal Monsters, that's been, I guess, the main theme right now, too, that we've been talking on the Chillin podcast. What are your thoughts on that? How does it still hold up years later? Because we're still in 2021.
Yeah, I mean, as far as horror goes, like, these representations are still with us, even if people aren't necessarily watching these movies anymore.
Yeah.
But, you know, you go to, like, a Spirit Halloween or a Party City, and you get, like, a generic plastic mask, they'll resemble artistic resemblance to, like, Frankenstein's monster or Dracula or whatever the case is. So, you know, as far as how they hold up, some of them, I think, hold up well. But I don't mind black and white movies and more of a dialogue story aspect to it.
Yeah.
Some people might. Other films, you know, even though I love these characters, I don't recommend them because unless you're really into it, you're not going to find any joy in them. You're just going to be like, this is stupid, you know?
No.
But for me, I really enjoy the old school stuff because that's how I was introduced to horror, and that's, you know, it was introduced to me by a very important person in my life, and it was something we shared at that time. And, you know, there's definitely a nostalgia to it, and maybe I'm biased to it, but I think these are quality, some of them are very quality films, even in 2021.
Definitely.
Almost 100 years old at this point.
Yeah. No, really, when you look at it. That's actually one of the reasons, if you guys saw, there was a lot of variations for this graphic promoting the podcast today. One of them were in black and white, because I wanted to go back to that nostalgia, wanted to hit that about those kind of films, because I am a fan of that. Like the podcast that was done last week, the Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, I'm actually a fan of that. I like the black and white style and that old the look to it. As someone that's I guess again younger here, I am still a fan of it. It holds up.
Right? I'm still in my 20s.
You still make me feel like the young one here, so I have to bring it that way. I'm not calling you old.
No, I have an old soul.
That you do.
Yeah,
that you do.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Another comment from Jeff. He asks, any toys you're looking forward to? Or I guess to both of us, so if you want to go first.
Let me think. I guess like retail stuff, the Turbo Man Funko Pops.
Yeah.
That's what I'm kind of looking forward to. As far as like maybe higher end stuff, there's a Ash Williams coming out in January, which I know is going to be delayed anyway, but somewhere around there. So he's one of my favorite heroes in horror. They don't make many heroes, Ash Williams being one of them. So I have a whole bunch of slashers at that scale, so it'll be nice to have Ash Williams. Even though it's not my favorite version of him. As far as movies, I prefer him in Army of Darkness, but my favorite is Ash vs. Evil Dead, and they haven't made anything at that scale yet. So
there you go. Got to think about that, because Funko-wise, I think I've gotten everything I was looking forward to. There's one from the Falcon and Winter Soldier, the new Falcon suit. I think that's the only thing I'm looking forward to right now. That's supposed to come out in October, but knowing how these things get delayed, I'll probably get it next January. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That should be a fun one. But I guess now I have to look forward to the Hawkeye ones, because we know there's going to be a bunch of those after this series comes out in November.
Yep.
But also, before I transition to that, because I do want to get into that with you, let's talk about one movie that I did make another graphic for here. Your love for Fright Night.
Yeah, where do we want to go with this?
No, just what got you into this film? I think we've spoken about this on another podcast, but I do want to bring it up here because there's a reason why I made this graphic this style. I was like, got to touch on this a bit. If they don't know, your theme is at least one of the versions is based off this as well. So
Yeah, so my love for Fright Night came from there used to be late night showings of horror movies on TV.
yeah,
They don't really have that anymore now. There's some networks, but I think it was on like UPN or something. Anyway, so my dad, oh, I really liked this movie, and my dad showed it to me, and I just fell in love with the film and like the music especially. I remember saying to myself when I was younger, I was like, "Oh, that's gonna be my wrestling theme one day." And I never, I was younger. Who knows if I was actually going to be a wrestler at that point? But it always stuck with me. Apparently, I like things to stick with me before I finally pull the trigger on them.
yeah,
So that was one of them. And yeah, for me, knowing my love or explaining my love for Universal horror movies, this film is very much a love letter to that, with the vampire genre, and the Peter Vincent character, which I
yeah,
think is my favorite horror hero of all time. So there's a lot of nostalgia within the film of my younger days, even though when I was younger, things like horror hosts were kind of dying off at that point, whether Joe Bob or Elvira or whatever. So William Shatner did a couple. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's just a love letter to my horror love from the beginning,
yeah.
and it's just a little bit more updated version of it. So yeah, that's where it came from. My current theme song, which was done by Like Minded, um, is the beat is somewhat based off that.
No,
Not copyright, okay? Don't come after us.
no. I used that as well on my last video, so definitely don't. It's a different song.
It's different, but it was inspired.
Yeah, that's why I said it's inspiration by. It's not the song. So if
Yes.
anyone's listening, we don't get copyright strikes, because if I do, but no, definitely, and it is great film. I've seen it too many times now to count, but
I have a 4-hour documentary or 3-hour documentary on it. So
those are the ones I have to start watching now, because you keep telling us about the docs based off these movies, and I'm like, I've never gotten that deep into it to actually watch the documentary on them. Like when we did was it Monster Squad, or was it the film after? That there was a documentary on it. I can't remember.
there is a documentary on Monster Squad.
Okay, yeah.
It's called Wolfman Got Nards. I think it came out.
Oh wait, yeah, okay,
3 years ago.
that's why I made the joke. Okay, okay, there we go. Hey, it still holds up, guys. Wolfman's, they have nards. Now you know. But okay, so now going into, we mentioned it a bit earlier, into, I guess, the superhero verse here. Let's talk about more guys in spandex, and your thoughts on I don't want to call it overwhelming, but the Marvel Disney universe that we're in right now, with all the shows and everything like that. Your thoughts on that?
I mean, I still like Marvel and superheroes. I don't think there's really a fatigue, especially since we had a whole year practically of no Marvel stuff,
Yeah.
as far as the medium of television or movies. So I still enjoy them. I think there was like a nice period with Endgame, and we're kind of in a rebuilding stage, I guess, right? So I liked Black Widow, but I didn't love it. I really liked Shang-Chi, but I didn't. I don't think it was like fantastic. I really like it. It's just, I think it's the most complete Marvel film from the beginning to end.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I think maybe the hype kind of ruined it for me, and maybe I'll fall in love with it. I just really like it right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, especially like now they're gonna start doing characters like Moon Knight. I'm super interested in, or Blade, and people like that. So I'm super interested in that. And then they'll do like the new version of Iron Man, which is Ironheart or Riri, which I'm looking forward to seeing how that turns out. And like apparently there's gonna be a female Ronin now, so I'm interested in seeing that. I think the only thing that's a bit of a drawback for me is that I hope that these films and television kind of like aren't Disneyfied completely. Like it makes sense for like Captain America and stuff, but I think you do have to be a bit more edgy when it comes to like Moon Knight or Ghost Rider or Blade. No, I'm not saying like half naked women or anything like that. Just like more to the violent aspects of it or the psychological mental health issues of some of these characters. And of course, I want to see a Deadpool 3 that's rated R.
Yeah, that's. I think those are the risk here, I guess, with making it so grand now, keeping in that spectrum of Disney. But I feel like they might work on it. They might keep it somewhat edgier, just based off other shows they've put on. So if they can do that for those, I would assume, hey, we can still get something for Marvel as well, especially when it's a big ticket item for their whole network and everything like that. Like especially look at Shang-Chi, I believe. Second week in a row, that's number one. So
I think it's third.
Third week? Oh, geez. There you
go. You're 1 week behind, Ray.
Hey, it's been...
Ray.
I feel like you just want to call me Raymond by now. It's like you could have just called me that. I just have the brand everywhere that's just Ray Raimundo. Okay, Jeff says, rumor is they're working on Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It's about time.
Like a remastered version?
I would assume an updated version. It's about time they've made one, just with the amount of characters they can work with now. But that's going to be something we won't get till probably.
Tell Jeff I'm wearing your a shirt that you were gracious enough to have purchased for me.
There you go.
Rambo and Nada and all that. So
that is a cool shirt, though. You got an ode to the 80s there in a sense with that shirt.
Yes. Well, I grew up on Predator, so which has my hero, of course, Jesse Ventura on there. So
there you go. Hey, the body. You never know. You might Hey, from the other day, you said you might have to make a call to him, so you never know. Maybe he's listening.
Because comedian Jim Norton as Chipperson cut a promo on me, so maybe I'll call up Jesse Ventura, go look that up on YouTube. It's very controversial, but yeah.
Well, there you go, guys. Hey, there's been crazier stuff in wrestling, so you never know. Rosario Dawson made a cameo last week, so why can't we get more stuff like that?
That's nothing, Ray. You should see what happens behind the scenes.
I have. I don't want to see it anymore. That was lighter stuff. That was nice. Rosario Dawson, the star of Rent.
Rent, Clerks 2.
Hey, that's how I was introduced because I was still younger when Clerks was around. So I saw her in Rent first, and then I got to see Clerks and everything like that. So
Night Nurse from Netflix, Marvel.
There you go. I told Quinn because he was talking about her. I'm like, hey, just tell her Rent. Maybe she'll pop. It did not work because Quinn was like, what am I renting? I'm like, oh, yeah. There you go. Not the Broadway fan.
That's a great joke, Quinn. That's funny. That's a great joke.
I feel like he was serious. That's the worst part.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. But okay, so from the Marvel stuff as well. Sorry, we have to also talk about. It's coming up now. We're almost a week away, give or take from this Thursday. Venom. Are you looking forward to it?
Is that this week?
Next week. Next Thursday. Yeah, a week from Thursday.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I am looking forward to it. Unfortunately, I saw that the critical response was very good, and I am worried now.
Yeah.
I saw the Halloween Kills critical response, and it was negative to mixed. I was like, great, I'm gonna probably love this movie. But Venom has this great kind of hype to it, and now I'm a little worried. But Venom was one of my favorite characters growing up. Watching it on the animated Spider-Man series, and Carnage 2, so it has two of my favorite characters. So I enjoyed the first one. I understand a lot of people did not, but as far as the Venom aspect for Spider-Man 3, it kind of was such a low bar that the fact that Venom was big, I guess, was enough for me. But I liked his interaction with Tom Hardy. I think Tom Hardy's a great actor. So.
Yeah. No, yeah, and we've had this combo. For me, I enjoyed the first one. I didn't love it, but I do hold it enough that's like I'm looking forward to the second one. The little tease for Carnage in the last one, I was like, okay, this keeps me interested enough. Seeing what they've shown in the trailer as far as well, I'm like, okay, I'll give it a chance. Also, it's Woody Harrelson. It's like it has to be good.
Like
it's good.
Great, versatile actor. He can be menacing. He can be funny. He's just a great actor.
Yeah, so it should be a good take here. But I know we also have to bring up, because the trailer did drop the other day, and there's another Venom we're looking forward to now, and it's with horror icon Tony Todd. Your thoughts on that one? Because that to me is just, again, I'm just waiting for this game to come out now.
Yeah. So I'm not a gamer.
No, not at all.
That's because
He
I
sucks.
was not good at it. Yeah. I don't know why Ray is commenting. He's never seen me play. So I don't know. But
Yes, I have, and I've beat you too many times in Mortal Kombat.
Right, you did beat me. So try to beat me in Dragon Ball Fighters with a Z, okay? I'm not very good at it, but I think that I might check it out. I'm sure someone around me will purchase it, and I think Tony Todd has obviously a great voice. So for him to play the Venom character I think is kind of perfect casting.
Yep.
I loved him as Scareglow in the He-Man series on Netflix. It was one of the few things I liked about it.
Yeah. I'm not going to comment on that series just because, nah. and too many spoilers, so don't want to get. Okay, Jeff says you beat him in MK, so you're redeemed there. You got your win and you got your loss. There you go. But no, definitely, again, and that game, just the trailer alone, it's like, okay, they're doing something with the Spider-Man and Miles Morales series there. It's going to be interesting to see. And again, Tony Todd, you got to love it. But another game also, I think I showed you the trailer for Wolverine. I feel like they're finally going to do something in gamer-wise, because the movie, they've done everything they can cinematically with Wolverine, the character. Finally, game-wise, they're doing something. Your thoughts on that trailer? Or at least the tease, because there wasn't much to it, really?
All I know is that he'll be able to retract his claws. So, you know.
Was it good enough?
That exciting. Yeah.
There you go. That was the perfect definition of a game trailer. That's like, we're not going to really show you much, even that's like, here's something. Like, but yeah, you gotta love that. Okay, but from that, let's circle back a little bit, because I do also want to promote, because you mentioned earlier, I forgot to show this graphic, but even though it's your podcast here, I want to promote also for TCW, because I forgot to show this graphic, for the Funhouse Wrestling Women's Tag Team Championships. You have someone you brought up earlier, Valentina, in action, as she'll be teaming up with Gabby Gilbert to take on Adina Steele and Karen Tran. Forgot to show that earlier when we were talking about your match with Preacher. But there you go, guys. I had to do the circle around just to promote everything for that show this Saturday. But there you go.
Well, thank you, Ray Raimondo.
The way you say the name is just like, it's no. Which name is worse? Is it that, or is it my name for the podcast for Chillin Killin, when it's Charles Lee Ray?
Oh, that's worse.
How? It's one of the most. It's my favorite horror character. How can you not like it?
Not creative like Anthony versus the Evil Dead, or My Bloody Valentina, or Travis the Terminator, or Evil Ed.
Wait, how is? Hold up. How is Travis the He just put Terminator behind his name. My name's actually Ray. I just added the other names of one of my favorite killers, which I guess, let's talk about that because the show's coming up in 2 weeks from time. Chucky's coming back.
Yes.
So
I wasn't clamoring for a new Chucky because I enjoyed the remake so much. So
that's it. Okay, guys.
I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, it's the only thing that I'm worried about is how many episodes there might be and maybe too much filler.
Yeah.
Because they've, it is still in that universe that Mancini created. So that's the only thing I'm a little worried about. Other than that, I mean, from the trailers, it looks like in the same tone as the original series.
Yeah, and to me, again, I've spoken about this also on the podcast. I enjoy the take they're going with. I like how Chucky looks. I like what the story's been previewed so far. I'm just hoping it lives up to the Chucky name. The voice sounds great with the raspier and the older voice for it. So I'm looking forward to see what they do. Like you said, I also started thinking about that when they showed the amount of episodes. That's like, okay, so how are they going to progress in almost 12 episodes, I believe? So it's like, it's going to be a lot to be like, okay, how are we so interested in the killer doll? It's like in a movie format, it's okay. It's like 2 hours, you get through it, but it's like, okay, every week to be like, what are they going to do this week? That's going to be like, oh yeah, I have to watch it. But
yeah, that's my only concern. I mean, there's so many horror series that really don't last that long. So, because there's not, much. I don't want to say there's not that much story, but it's harder to do it when it's such a long format compared to like an hour and a half in a film. Yeah,
that's the biggest. But hey, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully, the first episode does its thing, because I just saw today Don Mancini's actually going to be at Comic-Con, or doing a whole panel to review the first episode. They're doing a showing, so that should be interesting to see him, and I believe Jennifer Tilly will be there. So let's see what he thinks, or at least what people give him the reaction, because I'm going to imagine he's going to think it's amazing. You would hope, right? That's like he's going to be at the first episode watch and be like, I hate it. Why'd we do this?
I don't see that happening.
Hey, maybe he's like us. I hate listening to my own voice with these, so it's like maybe he's like, nope, I don't like my own product. But we'll have to wait and see. Last horror movie I'll bring up, because it's also coming up soon. When we get closer now to Halloween. Halloween Kills is coming out in 3 weeks' time now. Like you brought up, the reviews are kind of burying it a bit, but I feel like that's actually, when it comes to these things, might be the best thing, because they never usually give horror movies its due or its credit till after the fact. But your thoughts on it's coming out in a little under a month now?
Yeah, so what I would say is that this one definitely looks more like a slasher movie.
Yeah.
Not to say that the first 2018 wasn't. It's just, I feel that Jamie Lee Curtis, when she was doing PR for the last film, painted this picture for the film that would be very appetizing for critics that would go to the Venice Film Festival, compared to like a horror film festival, con, whatever. So the fact that these bottom teeth people with their noses up kind of look down upon the film kind of makes me very excited for it. So, because like once you start if you're like into films, which I guess I am, more than the average person, you can kind of see the patterns of it when it comes to how certain people review films of certain genres. So yes, like a film like Hereditary, which I did like, would be looked more because maybe it has more of a social issue, or looks upon things that are more current compared to a guy in a mask that's half burned killing half the town.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I feel like that's the biggest thing when you listen to certain reviews. It's like you have to know, are you their audience, or are you just, again, a fan of the actual genre or the actual film. Like, again, if you guys are a fan of the horror genre, definitely check out reviews by the Just Chillin Network, because at least there you'll get a more sense of view of those that actually enjoy the genre and actually looking at it from that aspect, other than Joe Schmo over there looking at it like, I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, Joe Schmo would probably like it. It'd be more of these high opinion critics that it's like, oh, we think Phantom Thread is a great film, when it's about a guy who's being poisoned by his like helper while they make clothes. So not as interesting to me.
I didn't want to give them that much credit. That's why I was like, they're Joe Schmo to me. But you're right. They are the higher critics. But hey, again, it looks good.
Let this podcast be the first time I bring this up. It will be controversial, I'm sure. Many people care about this, right? But I think the Oscars and awards shit is just stupid and a way for everybody to pat themselves on the back. And it's dumb, and I hate it. And yes, I said it. I don't like. I'm also saying that as a joke, in the way that I don't think anyone really cares, but that little bit. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't think anyone but those of that academy actually care.
Yeah.
I doubt anyone really.
They got it right one time, and that's when Shape of Water won for Best Picture. Other than that, they've been wrong all those years.
Yeah. I still watch it just to see, okay, what are they going to choose this year? What am I not going to watch this year? Okay. I still say Robert Downey Jr. should have won something. But hey, it's never going to happen. The superhero genre never gets its due, but hey, it's whatever. It is what it is. But from there, now it's time, okay, we've gotten the fun in, we've gotten our discussion on cinema, on collecting, on all the joy there. Now let me get a little more serious. Why I set with a little throwback picture here. I had to look this up today. Our very first picture ever, I'm showing it on the screen right now, from, I know, I'll show it to you later. I did a little trimming to it at least. You don't look that much different. My hair is too normal in this picture, so I'm already cringing. But to think it's almost close to 5 years now from that picture. And look at us now. We're talking here on a podcast.
Yeah, look at that. I'm glad that I humbled myself to the point that I could talk to just a fan of wrestling. You know, it's just such a. I really pat myself on the back for it. And I hope that my peers can also be the same way as me and humble themselves to talk to the fans and have them see that you're just like one of them, just in spandex.
Hopefully so. You weren't as humble that night. You were definitely more of a roguish person that night we met.
Well, I'm always rebellious. It'll always be my nature. But
no.
Yeah.
It's been a good 5 years though, at least. Huh? Gotta say that.
For you and I, it's been a great 5 years.
Outside of that, maybe not so much, but
I don't care. For us, it's good. So whatever.
All we could say.
I can't save the world with no cape on, right?
Nope.
I think that I don't even know if is that a real saying. I have no idea. I don't think so.
I don't think so, but I feel like someone will probably use that in a comic one day. That has to be used somewhere.
You're welcome, Scott Snyder. He writes Batman comics.
You gotta love it. But okay, so let's start wrapping this up because I don't want to take.
Wait, that was a serious part of this. The show
no,
a picture of us.
Hold on, I'm getting to that. I'm gonna start wrapping it up here.
What do you think of Joe Biden or Mitch McConnell or any of that?
I don't get into politics here. I try not to get too into politics just because it's going to be another headache here. So why get into politics? But when I start wrapping it up, is to bring up again. I showed the picture to really bring up again. It's been 5 years, but like I said in the beginning of all this, and I do view you as one of my best friends, as someone. I've told you this many times, even on other podcasts and all that. You are someone I look up to, someone I do view as a brother. So that's why I want to get serious with this. Because it was someone, when I promoted this whole podcast too, I was like, okay, there's a reason why this is my biggest episode. I've spoken to Jimmy Jacobs, I've spoken to Monster Mac. I was like, that's cool. But I was waiting for this one to finally happen just because, again, this is the funnest one I'll have just because it's someone that I do look up to and someone I do really care about. So I thank you for being on.
Well, thank you, Ray. I don't know if I deserve all that, but let me say as well that I would like to thank you. Besides the friendship aspect of all this, but during your time in wrestling, you did a lot of work that you were never compensated for, which is, one aspect that's bad about indie wrestling. But also, you did a lot of work that was not appreciated ever. And anyone that I've worked with, that I've seen their hard work and couldn't even get a thank you for it, I always go out of my way to let them know the best I can, at least verbally, that I did appreciate what they did. And at least that one person saw it, and that you were appreciated. And it sucks that wrestling is the way it is backstage sometimes. But just know that your work, without your work, a lot of people, including myself, wouldn't have been as sought after or wanted to be viewed by fans or whatever. So thank you for that. If it's the only thank you ever get, well, you got it from me. And I don't know how much that matters to you or not, but I just want at least the people that might check this out to realize that Ray has done a lot backstage when it comes to independent wrestling within the area. And I don't know if he was really appreciated in certain places, if not all places. So I just want to let you know that you did do a lot of work and you really helped out a lot of people, even if you didn't get the respect for that. And I do want to say that I think that you're a very upstanding person because, when you first asked me to do the podcast, I pretty much said no because we weren't on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
And that was mostly because of miscommunication than anything else. It wasn't anything like we yelled at each other or anything like that. It was more like we need some distance kind of thing because of the scenario. But I also want to acknowledge that I'm not saying everyone, but for you to have seen what you've seen and decided to pick for yourself, I should say, because no one ever asked you to do anything.
Yeah.
But for you who have seen what you've seen and realized not only that it was wrong and morally wrong, that you within yourself just kind of separated yourself from that. And it takes a lot of guts to do that because there's a lot of people that will acknowledge things. There's a lot of people that will say things are wrong, but they won't ever act on it. And which I completely understand because it is scary because this in life can be very scary. And it could be very scary when you have to confront things that you don't want to confront because it might hurt your status, your financial situation, whatever the case is. And I want to acknowledge that you, for yourself, again, I want to make it clear, no one ever asked Ray to do anything.
No.
But for yourself, that you didn't just tell me like, oh yeah, but whatever. And then I would see you like, look at my best friends here. Like, and you yourself learned a hard lesson, unfortunately, of how
Yeah.
things can be,
Yeah.
that people just kind of use you until it's not necessary to. But yeah, I honestly, I don't like to talk about people in a way that I don't know them, because there's so many people in this career or any form of life that I think are cool, but I can't really comment and really know. But I think in my heart of hearts, all my interactions with you, I'm not with you 24 hours, of course, but all my interactions with you, you're a kind, compassionate, good-hearted person, and I'm glad to know you. I'm glad that you've entered my life. I'm glad that we were able to fix that miscommunication.
Yeah.
And I've told you this before, and maybe the audience doesn't know, and this might be a bit of not the best thing maybe to bring up, but hopefully you're okay with this. But Ray lost his father in the past few years, and I think that your dad, because you were young, much younger now then than you were now, and your dad, and I'm sure that your mother and your family should be very proud about who you are right now, and I can't wait to see who you become in the future.
I thank you. And no, definitely. And again, this is stuff, in a sense, I've brought up. I've tried to be very transparent when I talk on these things, just because, again, it is real life. It is stuff that we can't truly hide, just because it's out there already. A lot of this stuff, if you guys are aware of both of us, you can kind of connect the I's and T's about what we were discussing there a few seconds ago. And it is rough. It's a lot of stuff that, again, you go through. You live and you learn is the best way I can put it with life. And no, I am glad we were able to fix that miscommunication. And no, and again, I had to choose what was best for me. Also, what I knew was just best in general. Life, again, it gives you those difficult choices, but you start to learn what is really easier, just because what's right. And that's something I always try to express, is not just to be that positive mindset, but also, hey, if you can't be content with what you see in the mirror, then there's something wrong there. If you can't be happy with what you are and what you choose in life, it's like that's a lot of self-reflect you have to do.
Yeah, and I agree with you, and I think that that doesn't mean that you can't make the wrong decisions.
No, definitely not.
You can't. You could have to be perfect, because that's just not reality.
Hey, look at my hair choice right now. So
I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it. But yeah, like these are lessons, and as long as it doesn't become harassing, and it doesn't, like, just as you learn from it and you try to move on, and as long as it doesn't become harassing and all that, then it's cool. It was a lesson for that time, but we need to continue to move forward. And unfortunately, there's tons of things that or you've seen people that just kind of just stay stuck there, and it's really unfortunate. It's understandable, but it's very unfortunate. And like for me, like discussing what we just discussed, it's like there's so many instances of me speaking up for people that were not my friends, speaking up for people because it was right, not because it would have, it could have hurt me at the time. Maybe it did. I don't know. But it was like, and these are within life. I'm speaking in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. And these are people that would never throw me a lifesaver if I was drowning. I'm not talking about the candy, by the way. It's a good joke. I'm not talking about the candy. But yeah, so at the end of the day, at least for me, I could have all the money in the world. I could have all the opportunity of the world. I could have all the acclaim, all that. But if I cannot look myself in the mirror and see growth and see a person that I am proud of being, then it's not really worth it. Because at the end of the day, I will not be buried with my money, with my toys, with my accomplishments. I will only be buried with my body.
There you go, guys. And I think that is the perfect way there to start ending this because, hey, I hope you learned something from this, guys. If it's not our thoughts on movies, it's at least a message there that I hope you guys can get. So, again, I said this was going to be an important episode, so I hope you guys all enjoyed it there as well. But, oh, wait, I forgot I have notes. One last thing I want to bring up before I plug everything away.
I just poured my heart out here, Ray, and now you're going to ask me some trivial question?
Yep. It works for this, though, because it's the perfect thing I ask everyone. All and right. I think I know your answer, but I want to see what you say here. The end goal.
In life?
Whatever you want to answer. In wrestling, in life, whatever comes.
I'll answer in life.
Okay.
The end goal is for me to, at the end, the last moment, the last gasp of air I take, is to be proud of who I am, be proud of what I've done, and do right to those that have done right by me, and even have been better than those who weren't the greatest to me.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I think I would like the end goal to be.
Awesome. There you go, guys. Again, this is the teary-eyed part of the episode. Sorry, guys. If you're listening to this afterward, we'll...
I'm trying to make dinner here.
I'm not even going to go there. But, guys, before we go, don't forget, as always, if you want to find us on social media, you can do so. Ray_Mundo. That is going to be on Instagram, Twitter, and on TikTok. I still got to get content on there eventually, but hey, you can also find Ant in the handles down below. But if they want to find you, Ant, what is your social media?
I hate social media, but it's part of the job. And
sadly,
until I get a contract, I have to do it. Maybe I'll pay Ray to do it if I ever get a contract. But it's at Anthony Gangone on Twitter, at Anthony Gangone _, on Instagram, Facebook. Just look my name up. Also, the podcast, which is far more interesting, would be at Just Chillin Net across all platforms.
There you go, guys. All the links, especially for the podcast, are down below. Even for the Patreon. Again, guys, it's $1. Go support the Patreon. You get exclusive content there, including Fractured Skulls, great podcast with some obscure titles there, just to warn you, but it's definitely a fun time and definitely check it out. Also, before we go, I shall plug as well the merch, guys. Ants is going to be at Pro Wrestling Tees. Link is down below, but if you want to check out mine as well, whatamaneuver.com. Get the Law of Gaming t-shirt. More designs hopefully coming soon. Should be sometime in December. I have something in the works, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but get my shirts first.
Definitely get his before you get mine. Cooler designs. I have most of them, which include the ones you saw on graphics today. So there you go, guys. Check out this one. It's Halloween time, so go get that Gangone t-shirt. Inspired by Halloween. Go get it before Halloween Kills comes out, and then you could wear it to the movie. There you go, guys. Hey, that's going to be the shirt I wear. So that could be my excuse when you always say, I don't wear the movie t-shirt. There you go. I have a parody shirt on. There you go. That's going to be my excuse. But thanks again, guys. Also, before we go, I can't announce now. Saturday, this is going to be a recorded episode, but I will be speaking to the deathmatch icon himself, Masada. And next Tuesday, live on the podcast, I'll be speaking to the artist known as Dave Cole. That's going to be another interesting one to speak to, so definitely check both of those out, guys. Check out the social media, and I'll give you guys all the updates on that. But Ant, thank you so much again for coming on. This has been great. This has been a pleasure. Hope you enjoyed. And that's a shout out to Jeff. I hope he's still in the chat so I can get that reference. But till then, guys, as always, be wise, be genuine, be real, be better people. Love you all, and we'll see you guys on the next one.